for the 32 months. Welcome back, everybody else. We are playing some mono green coffers today. This is an archetype some of y'all might remember. I think we've played this. This is the nice thing about our wonderful sponsor, Moxville.com, is we don't have to be like, well, I think we played. It's just all categorized. So let's go. Let me pull up the last time we worked on this shell. So this was, okay, this is today. Right, Mycospawn Coffers, September 12th. So I think this was the last version. There was one more that I think I based it off a little bit more. Okay, so this was the first build back when the ring was legal. The idea is that you're trying to instead of play Cabal Coffers as the slower, more meticulous black control deck, instead you're using the green cards to just put a bunch of lands into play, find your Cabal Coffers, Urborg, and power out some really big, powerful stuff. And so we have tried this build a few times. We've had varying degrees of success with it. I'm currently 3-0 in my first league with this version of this build, and I've been liking what this deck is doing. So again, the general core is that you are using Grazer, Stirrings, Explorer, Rumble, and then Flare of Cultivation and Mycospawn to assemble Cabal Coffers or Urborg and play very quickly and cast some big stuff. The big stuff is going to be a pretty normal package of Karn, Emrakul, Ugin. It's nice that because we're playing these big colorless spells, we get to use Ugin's Labyrinth as well to like power out stuff a bit faster. Now, you might be asking yourself, what is this deck doing better than the Tron builds that are popping up really, really well? And I think this deck is doing three things really well compared to that one. One, you get to be a good Emrakul the Promised End deck. Emrakul the Promised End is just the best payoff in these kind of strategies. It's like it just ends the game in a way that stuff like Devourer of Destiny, Sire, Seven Deaths, Ugin, which we are playing, don't. It just ends the game, you know? And I think that's one big problem that the Eldrazi Trons build at the moment is they aren't very good at casting Emrakul the Promised End. They usually just don't play the card. Maybe they should have more in the 75. But this build is way better at playing it. I actually, on turn 4, yesterday against Boros, I played Ugin into Emrakul on the same turn, which was quite the rush. Another thing I really like about this build is that you are more resilient to the Field of Ruin stuff than the Tron builds are. I played 3 matches last night. I played against Boros Convoke, which I beat. I played against Boros Energy, and then I also played against the mono white Field of Ruin deck. And I really wish I was streaming this moment, but it was game 2, and I was just playing this kind of longer game where I was ramping, and I just cast an Explorer, and I put Urborg into play and Cabal Coffers into play, and they had Field of Ruin up, and I just cast an Emrakul. It was awesome. It was really, really cool. So it's not that you're like really particularly great against these cards, but it's a lot easier to assemble Urborg Cabal Coffers than it is to reassemble 3 Tron lands in the face of these field effects, at least some amount of the time. And you also have a lot of basics, so that if your opponent are repeatedly fielding or White Orchid Phantoming you are going to have a lot of basics to put into play, which is a really big deal too. Another really thing I like about this deck is that you're actually like good at casting Sowing Mycospawn. So there's a few different builds of Eldrazi Tron, right? But Mycospawn in the Tron builds all the times is just not castable. You have like I've seen as few as 4 green sources. Some people play like 5, 6, maybe 7 green sources. I just feel a little nauseous having so few green sources in my Sowing Mycospawn deck. But this build, of course, you're very good at casting it. So I've been liking it. I don't know exactly how good the build is, of course, but we're 3-0 in our first league. We can get a trophy prediction going here. Against Spider-Man set, most of the cards look pretty meh except for Sandman. There was more. I've more in the PowerPoint than I thought I would. I don't think anything is going to be groundbreaking, but there's going to be at least enough interesting stuff to try. There's more than I've been telling y'all there is, I think. I've been telling y'all the PowerPoint's going to be really short, but it's going to be a more normal length. Okay, so we want Stirrings first so that we can get the... I think there's not a lot of reason to Grazer Flare without a land to put into play. Then we'll take the Urborg first. And then if we don't... We can go Grazer, put the Urborg into play, then cast the Flare, put a Forest into play, and then the Forest we put in our hand off of the Flare, we can just play for turn. After we talk about Colossus weapons, I threw some together, Goldfish, some tier 3 wins, and 4-1 the friendly model league. That's really cool. Congrats. Okay, well, could have played around Thoughtseize. When am I expecting to release the video? It just depends. I might do a slightly shorter stream again today so I can... Wait, they took an Ugin? I might do a slightly shorter stream again today so that I can get more work on it. It just kind of depends. At the very latest this weekend, like Saturday or Sunday. But I would like to have it done by Friday. But I'm not sure I can do it. Okay, so we're gonna play the Labyrinth here so we can protect the Ugin from another Thoughtseize. Okay, and we successfully baited the Phantom. Now, it is not super ideal for me that they have the main deck Phantoms, of course. Yeah, let me Rumble first because I can cast Mycospawn if I see that off the Rumble. Might be able to cast Ugin, actually. Because I can go Grazer, put the Forest into play the Cabal Coffers, and it's mana neutral. Because I'm one short if I see Ugin. I do find the Cabal Coffers. So I want to take Emrakul instead. So Emrakul currently costs 4 mana. It's not getting any cheaper. Sorry, 4 mana less, so 9 mana. If I take this Cabal Coffers, play the Cabal Coffers, I have 5, plus the spawn is 6. So, like, if I just take... Yeah, I just need a land, so I think I'm going to take the Coffers. I can still cast the Ugin next turn if they Ephemerate. I guess not if they Ephemerate main phase, but or if they Ephemerate on my upkeep and give me a tap land, I might not be able to. Okay, we'll go ahead and cast another Rumble. Still just 1 mana short of the Ugin right now on turn 3. So let me take Forest so that if they Ephemerate, we can still Ugin. Did we ever play? I don't know if we ever played Border Posts with Colossuses. Sack another artifact. Exile top X of your library. X is 1 plus the mana value. You may play those cards this turn. Okay, then they Thoughtseize the Ugin. I guess we should have maybe predicted that and taken the Emrakul. Now again, it's nice that we have a lot of basics, although I guess we only have 1 left. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm surprised to see no similar Rackham Synthesizer. I thought that card was so good with the scales and the teeth, but maybe it's just this is better. So I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. I can cast Emrakul or Ugin, so we don't really care too much about the coffer stuff. Hopefully find one off a Rumble here. Find a Karn instead, which we'll take. I have the Grazer to block the Phantom. They might have a Felia. Could be good to get an Ensnaring Bridge to stop Felia from attacking this turn. I think that seems pretty correct with me with them being on only 2 mana. I didn't want to splash blue since board post stuck for it. I think that's fair. It's cool. Great list. Congrats. Looks super fun. So I guess they could go, maybe now that they've drawn a land, Flicker Wisp the bridge, and then attack, and then they could flicker the Witch Enchanter and stack the triggers where the Witch Enchanter comes back and kills the bridge. Leveler could have been better. Well, I'm very likely to be able to get an A-drop next turn if I get the bridge this turn, right? Ooh, main deck to Fairy. But also, instead of Cityscape Leveler, I think it's probably going to be better to grab the Battleship. Although it does get Force of Negation. I don't think we should be playing around Force of Negation here. seems like impossible. Cast Trigger so valuable. Yeah, so is Stone Raiding them and killing both their creatures all at the same time, and then being able to plus on this. Alright, so they're down a mana, they plus their Teferi, they got 5 cards in their hand. They might Sol to my Battleship, but then we get to gain 8. I guess we just see if the Ugin works here. Okay. Then let's attack, and then we'll play the bridge second main phase to play around another Felia. I might say it too. You know, we got Phantomed 3 times. I don't know that Tron would be in this good a shape against Double Thoughtseize Phantom. But I think there's a lot to say about this plan. Just like you just still cast your stuff really easily through these effects. I also like beat the Field of Ruin deck last night in like a really fun way. Some stuff going on. Okay, we are up game against Esper again. Let me just run it back again. I think this matchup's pretty dang good. I do like to see the main deck Phantoms. So like I've been trying to mess around with main deck Cleansing Wildfire and some shells. I actually was playing just like Jeskai Wizards with main deck Wildfire last night, and it was feeling pretty good. And I made like a really embarrassing punt against Pygonti, and I ended up pivoting over to this. Well, we might see some plays sometime this week. Just like main deck Wild. There's been so much Tron. Main deck Wildfires just feels so good. Remember back in the day trying to combat Tron with Fulminator Mages, it never worked. It was pretty good at Living End, where you could like Fulminator Mage and then Living End back to Fulminator Mage. Back when Living End was a Jund deck. You take Karn with Cityscape Leveler if it's under Labyrinth. You can, yeah. If it's an exile from anywhere, you can. Yeah, Fulminator was a super expensive card, and everybody was cheering when it got reprinted in Modern Masters. Different times. A more civilized age. Tarmogoyfs for $200 like they should be. My friends would donate plasma to save up for a Tarmogoyf. They would have one Tarmogoyf. What are they going to do? So my opponent asked his Sphere blocking Coffers. I don't think I'm going to use this information to bring in Force of Vigor. We could just kind of ignore it, I think. So I dislike Modern overall, no matter what. Tron Eldrazi is always hated on. Sorry, Tron Dragon. I will say that there are, like, I really like Tron's presence in the metagame compared to the more traditional Eldrazi deck. I think that Tron is much easier to hate out, and I think that these decks like Affinity Tron Reanimator, which are all popular right now, which is a good sign. Like when these 3 things are popular, I just love that you can like choose to like focus your main deck and your sideboard to be effective against these strategies. A lot easier than you could choose to hate out decks like Boros and the other one. It just I don't know. I enjoy it. Maybe it feels like just more classic Magic to me. I guess let's Rumble this turn. A little bit worried about getting like Felia into Phantomed. Take another lab. How much were Snaps in the Lianas? I remember I traded 4 Snapcasters for a Force of Will at one point, and Snapcasters were really pricey. And then I traded them so I could have a Force of Will for my Commander deck. Can you please zoom in on one card? No, but thank you and welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Okay, not too soft with Thoughtseize here. They also probably don't have a Phantom in their hand if they didn't Phantom the Felia. Well, they might. Okay. I would have thought that they would want to scam the Riddler instead of flickering my spawn token. At the very least, you should Thoughtseize first of these spots to get the information on what you should do. Let's Stirrings here. We're looking for Cabal Coffers or just a green source. Instead, we find just a Emrakul, which is not very good. Now my Emrakul costs 10, my Ugin costs 7, so I think we should try to play this Ugin first. If I do Stirrings into a Coffers, I tap the... It does stink to tap the Sunken Citadel. And then I only have 5 mana after that. If I just draw Cabal Coffers, we can cast the Ugin next turn. Actually, kind of wild to only see 1 colorless card off the Stirrings. Like, we have 42. Maybe not that wild. Uh-oh. We do get to put this back in the hand. Is it not possible to zoom in? It's possible to zoom in, but with all the kindness of my heart in the world, sincerely, no sarcasm, this isn't an environment where you just get to come in and tell me what to do and zoom in and stuff. You can ask what a card is, and I'd be happy to tell you what it is, but I'm not going to zoom in on command. We're not that interactive here. We may become an NPC stream where I will, start doing different reactions for different emojis, but we're not quite there yet. Yeah, let me grab the Mycospawn. Oh, dang, that was off the Stirrings. I thought it was a Rumble for some reason, so I could... So I can... I think I still need to cast this turn and get a Cabal Coffers. And then when they flicker the Phantom on the lab, I can play the Urborg, and then I'm going to have 5, 6 mana in play, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can cast Emrakul or I can cast Ugin. They're both kind of similarly weak to Consign. Emrakul is typically stronger, so let's go for that. Nice to be able to block here. Now I guess there's an argument for like maybe my opponent will kill the Cabal Coffers instead. And if they kill the Cabal Coffers instead, I would have rather had the Emrakul imprinted. What advantages does this mana base have over Tron lands? Well, like this match I think is a good example where my opponent is flickering this White Orchid Phantom. And like the Tron builds would have like very small chance against Thoughtseize, Nepheli, and the Phantom. We're much more resilient to that. We also get to just be a 4 Emrakul, 4 Ugin deck, which like regular Tron they play Devour and Sire, which are just weaker because they're not as good as casting these cards. And we're also like way better at casting Mycospawn. Like getting to play Mycospawn is like a huge deal, which is tough to do in the Tron builds. Either you're really bad at casting it or you just don't play it. Those are kind of your options. Okay, so they have the Ephemerate, which maybe means I should have kept the... They have another Ephemerate? I mean, that's okay. But look at this. Like we just have enough basics that we just get to keep casting our spells. So I always love when I get these questions that I can just be like, look at that board. This is why this is better. So I find a Cabal Coffers. So I can go Grazer, put Urborg into play Cabal Coffers, return, and activate it. If I do that, I also have the spawn token. So I'm going to have Urborg, Cabal Coffers, these 5 lands. So that's 7 lands in play. So I'm going to tap this. This will be in play tapped. And then so I'm going to have the spawn plus just the 7. So that's going to be 8, right? 5, 6, 7. Then 8. And so the Emrakul costs 9. So... Right now, I already have a Planeswalker, I already have a Sorcerer, I already have a land. Those are all the types going into the yard here. So it seems like I can't cast the Emrakul, right? Yeah, Emrakul costs 9 and we have 8 mana. They also just like for sure have Consign, so I think maybe even just more simply that's going to be my reasoning for doing this. And then let's go ahead and hide Ugin from a Thoughtseize here. No, it's 9. You have 3 untapped land spells coffers. No, the Grazer puts the Urborg into play tapped, right? Well, I might run out of sorry, I forgot that they had 2 Ephemerates. We have 6 or 7 basics. I think we only have 6. Okay. We can still Ugin. The spawn. I was counting the spawn. I was counting the spawn. Okay, out of basics. They target the spawn, so we need to draw it on tap land to cast the Ugin. Ding, ding, ding. So they're probably going to consign this. Let's go ahead and target the Phantom. Even though the Grazer blocks it, like more flickering on that is just such a disaster, potentially. Oh, they just don't have it. I thought for sure they had it. Great. I didn't expect to see a big mana deck without K-Command. I know if this was discussed, how do you feel about it? Works better to play... K-Command is not castable in this deck, which is why we're not playing it. It doesn't work with the like core deck building. We do not have enough colorless sources, nor can we cut 4 green sources to play 4 Temple and still support the green cards. Which is also, I think, something that's nice too, is that like this week I very intentionally am trying to kind of move away from Eldrazi Temple decks. I'm trying to move away from Mox Opal decks just because I've played so many of these. I'm getting kind of burned out on them, and I feel like the format, like it would just be cool if we could discover some brews that don't have all those cards. Not that all of them have, right? But for the most part, those are just 2 cards I'm trying to stay away from. And I found the shell that ends up... Wait, the target at the Watery Grave? Not the Archive? Probably a misclick. I also saw someone talk about the VV Cauldron deck. I've been still liking that. I might just run it back in the challenge on Friday, because it's just been so fun. Okay, so Emrakul costs 9, and we have 8. So we can plus the Ugin. Can plus the Ugin after Stirrings, I guess, if we want to. Although, yeah, just playing Karn and then getting rid of both Wisps seems fine. Seems unbeatable, you might say. I guess we're gonna Black Source for Emperor of Bones. Another dub for Green Coffers. How many night triggers we play through? Probably like 7. 6 or 7. And like, this is the advantage to playing this, or this is one of the advantages to this build over Tron. Have I tried Riddler in the Cauldron deck? It's been very good in the standard version. Just being able to harmonize stories and add 1 counter with Cauldron allows for Riddler hardcast mana. So this is my exact problem with Riddler, is that Riddler seems to be only really particularly good in VV Cauldron when you have a VV'd Cauldron. And the deck already like is very good at winning immediately when you have it. So like usually when I'm brewing a deck like this, and we maintain the ability for a deck to just win the game when you have this combo. When you have VV plus Cauldron, you're going to win most of the time. As long as that's maintained, I'm interested in getting the mana curve as low as possible and making sure the plan B is as good as possible. Which is why I've really been prioritizing. Okay, there's the coffers, nice. Keeping like the fear of missing out and keeping the DRCs and the marauding Makos, like just having all of these cards makes the deck much more resilient, which I just think is so valuable. I mean, I'm probably gonna trade a card for a counterspell here, but let's just see what we see after Stirrings. We see a Mycospawn, which we could cast this turn if we. Oh, so we can't take Lab and Mycospawn, of course. I think we'll still take it. If this was a Yavimaya, we could cast the Mycospawn this turn, I guess. Totally okay just trading a Karn for a counterspell. Yeah, I think Modern is healthy right now. I agree. I think that Modern could be better. But I think it's in a good spot. I'm you know, don't want to dwell on the angst too much. Any value to infinite mana with VV and Quicksilver Elemental. So this is a spin blue. This creature gains all activated abilities of target creature till end of turn. You may spend blue mana as though it were any mana. So you spin the blue and then you get the ability from VV and you just keep doing this and you go infinite. It is. I mean, it's interesting. I don't. It seems like maybe too many steps, but certainly interesting. So they're gonna force this, I guess. Mark with the 40 months. Thank you. Welcome back. One of our mini September. I don't know. Subs are 25% off all September. Watch ad free. What cards do you want to ban or unban to make it better? Okay. If I'll say my dream wish list here, and then no one in chat comments on it, so we could just focus on this cool deck we have. Okay. I'll just say my dream BNR, and then we can move on with the cool deck we currently have. I cast this Emrakul. Maybe card doesn't walk and talk while I'm casting Emrakul. You know what? I'm just gonna skip it. I'm gonna skip the ban talk. We're gonna focus on this. Wish I could charm, make me drill too. I guess we cast the Consult. Coward. I'm choosing me today. I choose me. I'm sorry. Alright, so they play the land. Will they play Murktide or will they hold up Archmage's Charm? They hold up the Archmage's Charm. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we could just cast both these next turn. No, we lost playing for the 5-0 to Sam combo. We won game 1 really, really hard and then just got fast comboed. So it's push, Murktide. 2 mystery cards. That's one of the mystery cards. Probably should push the spawn. Then I'm going to push the Mycospawn. We had 6 mana post Karn, probably just getting bridge. Can't have force. They have 1 mystery card, but the other 2 are fatal pushes. Alright, this is probably gonna make them click the concede button. Yeah, let's just enjoy a sweet modern brew today instead of be yelling about bans like a madman. We could open ban talk back up closer to November, but there's just not really any point right now. I feel like Green Flare has gotten a lot better the last couple of months compared to how it first felt after Damage 3. I think so too. Green Sun definitely helps. Also, like, you know, a lot of times when you're like first playing with a card, like I think Green Flare is a really good example where you're like you build in a way where you're trying to maximize that you're playing 4 of, but then you have like too many mana sources in your deck. But a lot of times I've really enjoyed Flare as like a 2 or 3 of in some builds. Not loving drawing the 3rd Grazer here. Show pic of wedding cake. It's not a. We'll show it when it's made, I guess. I don't have a picture to show you. It is ordered. Grazers do block their fog. Okay. Okay, we might lose to drawing Grazer here. I'm gonna take the Cabal Coffers. Nice the taps for green with the Yavimaya out here. Okay, so I can go sack this Grazer, and then I can play another one. Oh, they Force of Negation. Okay, Pitching Force. No, this isn't the trophy match. We 4-1 the first league, now we're 1-0 in our second league. You've been unlocked. One of these losses is a mind rot. No attacks. Let's fucking go, dude. No attacks. No attacks is nuts. They're like, I'm not gonna bother. They put another frog in the yard here. They might as well concede, I think. I don't really see a lot of a point over there them continuing to play this game. They don't discard any cards. I guess we might as well imprint so that a land lets me cast an Ugin here. Yeah, we lost play to Sam combo for the trophy. We won game 1. I was feeling really good, and then they surveilled the cat into their yard on turn 1, game 3. Like when they did that, I'm like, I really think the triple block made them not discard anything here. Like, I'm gonna do it again. It's not really any different for blocking with 1, of course. The opponent is they've got their cards in their hands, baby. They've got a grip, and they are not letting go. They are not letting go of that grip, baby. They also definitely have Consign in their hand. Hello, Mystical Dispute. Goodbye, Ugin. So if I draw an Urborg, I have... Yeah, I have enough mana to put Ugin in my hand and cast it all in one motion, so we don't need to put this in our hand. It's kind of worse than block single looking because they could dump their whole hand to kill 2 Grazers. Honestly, I think that's worth it for me, but it does seem like it's working for whatever that's worth. It does seem like it's working here. Wait, they had a Delta in their hand? How did they not want to? I don't know. This has been a confusing game. I do think they're very likely to have a consign for this Ugin. You know, we drew 4 Grazers. I don't think we're very likely to win this game. We are up a game at the moment, so our ability to deal a bunch of psychic damage and then win game 3 seems still very likely. Very possible. Maybe they don't have consign also. If they just don't have consign. Oh, I can see to a Thoughtseize here. Yeah, there's an all-access token at the moment. Y'all can play some Magic if you've been wanting to play it for like 2 weeks. If you buy the token, you just get access to all of the cards, and you can just build whatever deck you want to play. But you still have to pay for entry fees. Just see what happens off this Rumble. We find an Emrakul. There's also the Urborg that we've been hurting for. I mean, we'll play it out. Can't. Yeah, I'm not sure how long it runs. Let's check. It would be nice. Okay. until September 23rd. So for 13 days, you just get access to all of the cards. I think it also lets you play a tournament, but I'm not sure what it is. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's back for until September 23rd. That's when Spider-Man comes out, right? I mean, if I get so kind of super cool if I find an Urborg. We do only have 3 left. Weird that they're doing this before attacking. 10 per league, and then of course you get your points back and stuff. Okay, let's get ready to rumble. All right, there's the Urborg. Let's try to cast an Emrakul. See if they have a consign. I guess. Sorry, we put some types in the yard. The more I learn about Magic Online, the more I feel like it's a scam. So I the entry fee is $10, but you can sell your currency and get money back. Maybe I guess this does sound like a scam, doesn't it? Back when I was before I was streaming, I would pretty regularly I would just supplement my income with just Magic Online. But you do have to have a positive win rate, otherwise you lose a lot of money. But you can also play for free. You don't have to play the paid leagues. There's some free to play areas. It does sound like a scam. The more I'm saying it all out loud. I do think it's much better than Arena, but I don't know if I could articulate that. The more I talk, the more it sounds like I'm trying to sell you on my cryptocurrency. How much to make off grinding Moto? So before Arena came out, the economy was really good. Like you could sell a ticket for like 98 cents or something, and the payouts were also really good. And then the economy crashed when Arena was announced. Like tickets went from like 98 cents to like 60, 55, something like that. Because we thought Magic Online was just going to be over. And I would pretty regularly make like $500-600 a month off of it. And you know, it wasn't that long ago, but it did definitely go a long way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can block with the spawns on the frog if they stop flying it. This is game 2. We are up a game at the moment. You should buy ticks from other players on Moto. You can, yeah. There's third-party sites that let you buy it. It's all very free and open. Like you can sell the ticks for real money. You can buy ticks from other real people. It's like you could just buy the cards you want, which is, you know, my biggest criticism of Arena is that if you want cards, you can't buy them. You have to open packs and get wild cards, and that it costs way more money. It costs way more money to like try a format. And like what I like about Magic Online 2 is like with the all access tokens and the rental services, although the tokens are rarely available, but when they are available, you can try a deck. You get to try before you buy, which is not something that you have the luxury of. Not something you have the luxury of on Arena. You have to buy the deck before you try it. Okay, so we are going to game 3. Good to be on the play for game 3. Hopefully we don't draw the 3rd and the 4th Grazer as our first 2 draw steps this time. You can buy wild cards. Can you? It's been a long time, but I don't. They're also like much more expensive if from my memory. Like when I was like getting into Timeless, was it 2 years ago, a year ago? It cost me $1,000 to be able to stream Timeless, and like, and then I had to grind the ladder. It was crazy to me that I had to spend that much, and then I had to spend all these hours off stream grinding the ladder. So it was interesting. And I know this is of course like maybe more specific to like being able to stream a format, but the accessibility is not really there in the way that it is on Magic Online, where you just get a rental service. You can play any deck in any format. It's just awesome. Panjo with the 13 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Just drafting everything. Yes, I know. If you just draft everything for years, you have everything. It is more efficient to like get a job probably than to spend the time drafting. Which is not an option for me. Which is not an option. All right, on the play. Beautiful hand. Aim it with the 5 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Only one basic left in the deck. I wonder if I could cut the Sunken Citadels for just 2 more basic forests. They've been kind of nice to have access to. Let's explore first. I don't know what I want to get off the Mycospawn. Although maybe this is just too weak into the snare. Like just enabling the snare this turn. I don't know. Felt kind of close. Oh, it seems fine. I wonder if I want to get an Ugin's Labyrinth off the first Mycospawn though, so that I can kick the other one. I guess not an option anymore. Let's pick Cabal Coffers. I'm gonna play the Forest, so it's like a little less obvious I've got it. Also, they might cast another Thoughtseize, right? They got a Frog. They got 4 cards in their hand after this. You have a Force of Negation. We'll just, see if they have it. Seems like they got it. Oh, let's go. Okay, so I'm 1 short of all of my crazy 7 drops here. Could get Explosives. Bridge is probably better than Explosives. Like, Bridge is really tough for them to beat. Okay. Fair enough. Could also maybe have just grabbed Leveler. Grabbing Leveler could have been fine. I do like having just 4 Rumble and 4 Stirrings to dig for the Karns, Ugins, and Emrakuls in these kind of spots. So, Emrakul. Can we cast Emrakul? We have... Emrakul costs 10. And we have 5, 6, 7. So 7, 8, 9, 10 exactly. Is that better than casting another Karn? I think so, because it just can't... If they top deck Forest, this doesn't get forced. And also, like, with them having the Frog in play, like if they have a Fatal Push, we can, like, discard their whole hand and then exile their graveyard. Okay. Another win for Mono Green Coffers. 6-1 overall. Could be a challenge deck this week. Keep this on the play. Okay, opponent's on a mulligan to 6 here. I think the Displacer deck was Monday, but it was solid. So I'm gonna try to prioritize kicking these Mycospawns. It looks like now we can kind of just comfortably get a Coffers next turn and then just kick 2 Mycospawns. So maybe if they have natural Tron, they'll get 1 big thing off. Oh, so I guess I can't kick both of them unless I get a lab, right? Or I keep the spawn. Seems like I really want to get a Cabal Coffers first, and then I might be able to double Mycospawn next turn and then just kick 1 of them. Has the league composition been more variable with mythic tokens being available? I don't know. So like, it's tough to say because last week was like the most like there were more brews and more craziness and more weird decks last week than like any week. Like maybe this whole year. Maybe that was just my variance, but it hasn't really felt like the mythic token has changed that. It doesn't feel as crazy as last week does, but I think in general, I think Modern is just kind of good at the moment. Like Boros is on the decline. Like I really like the Tron Reanimator and like Tron Reanimator Flicker are so popular. I like that Affinity is playable. It's like there's a lot I really enjoy about the dynamics of this format. Okay. We see a good draw. I think we can really just keep going here, right? I don't know how good this is. I'm doing it. It is a little too fun to say no to. I've got 5 mana left after this. See if they sack the Mind Stone here. They're gonna cast a K command instead. Oh, that was such a cool turn. I think Cursed Totem is gonna be worse than just getting coating. It did cross my mind. Wait, do I have Void Mirror? Maybe I should have Void Mirror. I don't know. It's a little narrow. It's a weird overlap with Vexing Bauble. I need some cough syrup. I just don't even need this much mana. Like I should have probably got Lair of the Hydra instead of the 3rd Coffers maybe, or I don't, it's just too sweet. If there was an insane card in the Avatar set, would have been the format. Maybe. We don't. If it could if it was good enough. Okay, they have Tron. They did find Tron off the K command. They only have 4 mana after this. Isn't Lattice good in this big mana deck? Yeah, it's been banned for 5 years. Welcome Legacy player though. Love to see some Legacy players in the chat. They could have maybe banned Karn instead. Oh, that was a joke, Airbending. I was a little too advanced for me, I guess. A little too advanced. Sorry, make my opinions on the moving the ban list November 10th. Well, my opinion of the scheduled BNRs being dumb has been continually proven right. Like, you know, they're moving up the BNR date because the current BNR schedule does not work, you know. Definitely grabbing backup Karn. Let's see if their Karn dies. Does dies. So they have an Extinguisher Battleship in their hand. I feel like I could just Battleship to kill their power plant here and kill their spawns. Just kill all my Mycospawns, but seems like it'll super duper lock up the game, so let's do it. I guess the Sundering Titan, if we had the Yavimaya, we could kill two lands here. We could just get Sundering Titan instead. We have to kill one of our own lands, but then we get to keep 3 Mycospawns in play. Killing the spawns is also just so nice, though. I think I want to keep my Mycospawns in play. Yeah, so I chose this. Chose a forest. Done? I guess I could cancel instead of done. I don't see how they went through Battleship. I also don't really see how they went through this either. And I get to keep these in play. Okay, so do I want to bring in Force of Vigors on the draw? I don't even think so. Maybe I'll cut a Bojuka Bog for a Force of Vigor, just a single one. I like Peace always thought on doing a BNR every first Monday of the month. That could be good, yeah. Like, just more than every set release. They don't have to just be whenever. I think whenever is the simplest, but more frequent is good. That way you don't have formats that are just rotting, rotting like Standard is, like Modern was, you know. But Modern's good right now. We are 6-1 with Mono Green Coffers. I have been trying to make this deck work for years, and I just feel like it really came together well with this build and this metagame. What's the reason for running this deck over Mono Green Devotion? I mean, it's mostly just way more consistent and powerful. So there are the only good devotion enabler is Leyline of Abundance or Leyline of the Guild Pact. There's not really other good permanents to try to keep in play. Like keeping permanents in play in Modern is so tough. A lot easier to just put the lands into play. If anything, this deck compares more to Tron, right? But you're way more resilient to field effects. You get your better Mycospawn deck. You get to play Emrakul and 4 Emrakul, 4 Ugin, which can be hard to do for Tron. To be fair, I bet that's what every set releases twice a month now. Well, not quite that crazy, but I mean, if it was, that would be fine if it was if it was that frequent. Right, Ugin into Stonebrain. Well, let's see what they. Are there better options than Totem? It can clank out with cards. Ballista Spawn, Cityscape Leveler. Well, I mean, the Cursed Totem was instrumental in us beating Sam combo the first time today. I think it's a good option. There are plenty of other cards you could play in that spot. But I think it's mostly there for Sam combo, which is popular enough to like just get a sideboard card right now. Although we did lose the match. Can we draw another Flare? Grazer would be a good pickup, I guess. And then they play a Relic. Maybe they pop it now. But what did they name? They named Cabal Coffers. Okay. I don't know why I am surprised that was their name. So let's play the Rumble so that we can Karn next turn. I guess we take the Lair. Maybe I don't have enough tap lands. Or I have too many tap lands. Yeah, you could play Flute instead. We also already have a Needle though, so I think I like having the Cursed Totem. It is really bad that I can't cast a Flare this turn. But they did miss their land drop, which was nice. And then we can go Flare and then Ugin the following turn. Not that Ugin's that good against them, but yeah, Lair is a fun way for you to sink all your mana into a win. That's a problem. Might have to settle this on the play, huh? They do get the coating. No surprise there. We did bring in 1 Force of Vigor. Okay, that's a great draw. So we want a Grazer first. This way we can play a forest that we get off the Flare to hardcast the second Flare. Only playing 2 Flares. And then now it looks like I can cast Ugin even if they coating me next turn. You like the design of the D&D band lands? I miss Den of the Bugbear. We won so many games with Den of the Bugbear. I'm a fan, yeah. Ooh. Alright, we might lose to Stonebrain, Mycospawn, Double Seer Karn on the play, huh? The fact that they can play both of them this turn is tough. Good top deck. Really has to be Ugin. We have 10 mana. Sorry, Emrakul costs 10. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we're 2 coding locked. Let's go and go to game 3. Weirdly close. Game 3 on the play. Having a lot of fun with this deck. Is Citadel only for Cabal Coffers? It can also activate Lair. I believe you can channel Boseiju with it. So a couple little extra things. I think it's possible we don't want to play the Citadels, or you could play like maybe you would you'd like never Mycospawn for one actually. So I don't know. They're like fine. They've been fine. The extra basics could be necessary. We did run out of basics one game. Just if we have so many, it's just so tough. I don't think we would another Force of Vigor on the play. I think we're okay. Monk with the 8 months. We'll come back. Yeah, VV Cauldron's probably might be the best deck on Pioneer, like quietly. How did just 2 Flare come to be? Just like normal deck building stuff, I guess. Like I had two extra spots. I felt really good about my top end. I wanted 2 more ramp spells really bad. There's not really anything better than Flare. I don't want to play more than just 2. More than keep. I don't want to play more than 3 Flares. I think you could play 3, but I had 2 slots left. Maybe just 1K command to mill. A K command is not castable in our deck, so like I would sure want to be able to cast that card if it was in the deck, you know. I think just because it's 2 extra types for Emrakul is not a good enough reason. What's the shirt? This is from a local band me and my friends really like called Meech Pango. They broke up after COVID, but they recently came back and did a reunion show that was so much fun. So you might be able to buy one online. I don't know if I want a Karn or if I want a Scion next turn. If they play a Mana Rock, we'll definitely Karn. Yeah. Are you a Meech Pango fan too, Oval? Yeah, they are on Spotify, yeah. I mostly just listen to music on YouTube Music, and they have very little stuff on there, but I've been listening to what they have. Could we support one Eldrazi Temple as spawn target? I think like if you need colorless, you could just get a lab or have a lab. I think like getting a temple for a second spawn doesn't make that much sense. Okay, so this is pretty good. This is gonna let them kill my Karn. Although they might. I mean, they're gonna take the Mycospawn every time here. Since you wore the shirt last time, checked them out. Awesome. They're really good. They're so good live too. Their main performer Alex is just like he's just one of the best performers I've ever seen, and they're a lot of fun. Nice local band. Okay, so we can play the Cabal Coffers. Then we have 6 mana. If I explore into a 7-drop, I have, I think, just 7, right? So maybe I could go like explore, grab bridge, coating them. So I have 4 mana. I'm pretty sure bridge is just the grab. Why not go for Coffers, Urborg Lab instead of Forest? Well, I was thinking I was going to cast the Mycospawn on turn 3, and I just gave myself the option to, right? Can't grab bridge and destroy land though, unless you mean I mean just like tap the coating on their turn. I know I can't destroy land this turn, so they could Tron me. They have to have the power plant naturally here in order to like cast anything that's really relevant, and they didn't seem like they had it earlier. Have I registered Null Elemental Blast since it was released? Yeah, I played Null Elemental Blast when Nadu was popular. I don't think I've thought much about it since, but it was okay against Nadu, or maybe I should say it was like the only thing some decks had as an option against Nadu. Or one of the only things. Alright, so they're thinking on their spawns. They put 1 on top, 1 on bottom. A Scary Teferi. They played Ugin's Lab for turn. And they imprint their own copy of Ugin, Eye of the Storms. And then they play their own copy of Karn. Wow. That's tough. And then they animate the Mind Stone to kill my Karn. Incredible turn. Brutal, brutal, brutal for us. Okay, so if I play Boseiju, then I have... Let's say I play Boseiju, put the Ugin into my hand. I have 8 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 7, 8. So it seems like I can Stirrings first. I do find an Emrakul. So, I mean, I'm always taking the Emrakul. But if I don't activate, I can tap the lab, so I can play Boseiju. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So the Emrakul is too expensive to play here. So play the Ugin. Which might get like needled or coatinged by the Karn. Ugh, tough. They're like their K-Command was so perfect there. Probably need to Boseiju the Labyrinth. I don't think that is like really the critical thing. Like Boseijuing their Karn target's probably more relevant. Have I had any Phyrexian Tower built since EOE? Not since EOE. So they do grab the coating. It'll be kind of interesting if they choose decoding the Coffers or the Ugin for this turn. Fun game. I guess there's a technical reason to coding at their draw step that one turn. Well, it's better to do upkeep so they have a smaller chance at finding the K command, right? Oh yeah, but I guess if they could find 2 relevant cards if we do a draw step, if we do upkeep versus draw step. Did they keep 2 on top? They did put 1 top, 1 bottom that turn. So they know I have an Emrakul in my hand. That's what they name. Has Watsy sent a spoiler for Avatar? No, when was my last spoiler? Maybe y'all remember. I did get one this year. I can't remember what it was. Okay, so no Emrakuls left. Oh yeah, Marketback Walker. From Aether Drift. I really wanted one for Spider-Man. I think I do want one for Avatar more, but probably won't get one. So they do target the Ugin. So we need to find a Karn off of this Rumble, since all of our Emrakuls have been exiled, and we don't find it, and I think we can just kind of comfortably scoop this one up. Fun match. Really thought we were going to win that one, but them having exactly like the Labyrinth into the Karn and the plus of the Mind Stone, really cool. All right, let's keep this on the play. Another lab deck, so happy to have a fast Karn. They imprinted Emrakul. So we've got Urborg Coffers online next turn. Seems like we should take the Mycospawn and Stone Rain them next turn. Big Game was loving for me to never get a spoiler card because of the slander say about Big Game. Yeah, potentially. The Mirror! Let's go! Shout out opponent. How too often we run into the mirror this early? We won the die roll. Already have Karn so expensive deck to buy Moto. I don't know. I don't know. Probably not that much. I guess the Emrakuls might be tough. The Lab was better. No, I guess maybe. I feel like you just mostly want to keep them off the Urborg Cabal Coffers. Oh wait, I have an Urborg in play. Yes, Lab was better. Lab was better. Lab was better. Yeah, we might side out at Urborg. The mirror is so weird. Okay, Explore is mana positive if I put the Boseiju into play, but I don't necessarily need to. Or want to. So I have 6 mana, so this is 6, 10, 11. 12 if I play the land, which is enough for me to Battleship and then still hold the Boseiju in hand. Right? No, one short. Boseiju the Coffers. I think instead I'm going to play the Boseiju and Battleship and just blow up the Coffers that way. Because keeping the number of lands in control matters a lot also. Because like if I Boseiju their Coffers and they have another one, they still have a lot of mana. And then my Lair is getting close to being lethal. I could maybe crew the Battleship with Lair, which would be like a fun achievement to unlock. An expensive Stone Rain, to be sure. Well, we got the mana to pay for it. Maybe Ballista crew Battleship is lethal next turn. Let's see. So we've got 7, so 7, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we could play an 8/8 Ballista and attack rate. So we would be 2 damage short if just by top decking Ballista. But I think a non-Urborg land gives me 3 extra mana, so it's still a little short. 3 cards left over there. Pockets with the 2 years. Welcome back. Glad you're still looking at the stream. Thank you for helping me get through work on the second monitor. Happy to be on your second monitor. Thank you for the resub. So I guess we just Sundering Titan them, huh? Maybe I should have Sundering Titan them last turn. I do this before I get to crew. So we could get Karn and Coating. We could also just get Coating off this Karn next turn. And then start ticking up. We also may just have lethal with Lair next turn. All right, being on the play seems important in this matchup. Force of Vigor as an out to Coating does seem actually pretty important. I'm gonna cut 2 Ugins, which are not very good. They're okay. But like audiobooks or music better when I exercise? It's been music for a while now. I've been not audiobooking much, but I try to. It's like especially on the weightlifting because I'm working out to failure. Like I have to be really pumped. It's hard to hit your like limits when Brandy Sandy is whispering in your ear about politics. Yeah, I could have sided out the Urborgs, it's true. I feel like the Bog is kind of nice to maybe slid down Emrakul. I think trimming 1 is okay. Can Karn station Battleship then itself? Can you Karn Battleship then station itself? Yes, you can. So they animal to 6. They maybe have turn 2 Myco. Oh boy. Okay, so the hand is Forest, mystery card. Hopefully it's not too big a payoff, although we pummeled them last game since we were on the play. Maybe it's just our turn. Oh, it says other creatures? Oh, I thought you could. We haven't explored, not a Karn or a Mycospawn, probably. Thankfully. There's a Cabal Coffers, so we'll be hesitant about playing Urborgs or the Yavimaya. Alright, they flooded. Let's go. They do still have the Emrakul hiding out under there, though, so we've got to be wary of that. We'll grab a Karn, which we are going to be short of casting, even if we had an imprintable. So let's not play the Yavimaya so that the Coffers just isn't going to tap for any mana over there. Pass back. kind of at the mercy of this top deck. So they play an Urborg. They have... They're just checking how much they have. 7, 8. So they can fire up a big Lair here. They're not able to cast the Emrakul. Probably take one hit from the Lair. Life totals are not that relevant in this matchup, and just the ability to like keep chump blocking the Lair to protect the Karn, that seems more important to me. So there's an Urborg in place, so we don't care anymore about enabling the Coffers to tap for mana. And we're gonna target the Coffers anyway with a coating. They do put the Emrakul back into their hand here. Maybe if they draw another Coffers, they can cast it. How to use stuff with one click. I have this unlocked here so that I can always toggle the stops on or off. And I'm only burned by that once a month, maybe. Okay, so they top deck to Karn, which stops me from activating my coatings. If I could rumble into a Coffers, I can Battleship them, though. Let's see, so they have 6, 7, 8, 9. So they are still a little way from being able to activate their Emrakul. They grab Pithing Needle. They name Karn. Naming Karn is pretty interesting. Have I registered a Karn board without coding? I think I have like one time. It's not very often you want to do that though. Okay, so we are a little short of casting this Ugin. Could cast it next turn. Let's take the Boseiju. I think I'm just going to Boseiju their Coffers. Like, I can cast this Ugin next turn, and then I can just kind of strand this Emrakul in their hand by Boseijuing the Coffers. Did you really play Arclight Dredge? Yeah, we 4-1 both of our leagues. It was pretty good. I'm considering it for the challenge on Friday. It's like that one, kind of like this deck, have been decks I've been working on for a long time and have kind of like finally been paying off some. So if I kick the Mycospawn, I can't activate the Coffers. So it's not, I guess. Boseiju Urborg cuts them off big mana. Yeah, but it also turns off my Coffers. So I think because it turns off my Coffers, I want to keep their Urborg in play. So it's a weird dynamic for sure. So that's gonna tax the Emrakul some more too. Can't we Boseiju the Needle and then get Coffers with Karn? Karn cannot grab lands. If Karn could grab lands, holy guacamole. Okay, so they have another Coffers here. They have 7 mana, so this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But because we drew exactly the Bojuka Bog, they can't cast the Emrakul yet. I can also unlock my coating by killing the Karn, which is going to stop them from being able to activate the Coffers. Although also so does just Mycospawning the Coffers. Oh, but they get to. Sorry, Does this have a color? Okay, this is permanent. I guess we do get to exile the Lair with the Ugin trigger. But I think we should have Mycospawned the Lair. That's okay. Not too often you get to exile or get 2 lands with the Mycospawn. In Modern, at least. Okay, we'll get our own Lair. We can ultimate the Ugin next turn. Oh, Coating is turned off by Karn. But yeah, sorry, never mind. Yeah, we killed the Karn. Coating is re-unlocked. Then we could have activated it.
the Lair stopped that, but then we got to Ugin the Lair. I think that we still probably should have just Mycospawn the Lair, then coating the coffers. Have I considered one map of the sideboard? We've talked about it today. It's just pretty rare by the time you're casting Karn, you're like very interested in getting more mana, although it can come up. All right, let's get a 4-1 prediction going. We 4-1'd our last league. Okay, on the draw for round 5 here. Let's mulligan this on the draw. Go to 5. Yeah, I think I can try to keep the Sunken Citadel to recoup on the mulligan a little bit. So the draw against the Wooded Foothills. Wooded Foothills go. Well, most likely Domain Zoo could be something else. I haven't seen a lot of Domain Zoo lately. Turn 2 Scion with no Leyline. Really need to find a Coffers off the Stirrings, but we do not. So I'll grab, I guess I grab Basic Forest so that another Boseiju isn't such a nightmare. Like, I don't think we're going to Boseiju the Scion that aggressively. Maybe that attitude is just wrong though, but on the mulligan, we just don't have that many resources, you know? I guess we should have played the Coffers so that if we drew Urborg, we could pass Karn. Would Gemstone Caverns be consideration? Yeah, you could consider it. It'd be fine. Scion number 2. And a Ragavan. I don't like my Powder Zoo deck. It was pretty good, I think. We had a solid record. The powders felt good, which is, of course, the most important thing. All right, come on, Cabal Coffers. I believe you. Yeah, but I am interested in playing more Serum Powder Cosmic Wave. Like, it was good and it was fun. I'm interested in playing it specifically in the Abzan Ketramos mid-range deck we played. I haven't sat down to build it, though, because we've been playing a lot of Goyf decks, and I just wanted to give it a little bit of a cooldown, too. But it's one I'm wanting to come back to. All right, so they're attacking for 10, putting me down to 6. So if we could find a Urborg here, we've got a chance. And if we don't, we have no chance. They flip a Grazer. Thank you, Ragavan. May flame me, maybe. Oh, all right, game 2, non-functional draw. We do get to bring in the Force of Vigors. There are Flage decks, so I guess I don't want to cut the Bojuka Bog. It's a little bit unclear what we want to be playing these over. I think trimming a land is okay. Could be the Yavimaya. Could be the Lair. Lair seems a little tough here. Kind of interested in cutting a Karn. Just trim 1. You're drawing 2 can be kind of tough. I don't really want to cut the flares or any of these. Maybe play just 2 Force. That's probably okay. All right, game 2. We are on the play for game 2. I think we keep this on 7. About 4 Serum Powder IRL. That's all I want to do. Play Dax, Abzan, Flicker, Goyf. I feel like playing the Flicker stuff and Goyf together is really weird. Like, I just think they reward you for such different things. I haven't seen Dex build, though. Maybe there's something I'm missing there. Yeah, opponent's got a tough mulligan decision, as you often do in Domain Zoo. Got a mull to 6. And they've got a Leyline. So I guess we can't Boseiju the Leyline and kill a Kavu if they go fetch land Kavu, because the land will come into play before state-based effects are checked. They have a turn 1 Ragavan. Interesting that they thought about mulliganing this, just like Leyline and Ragavan, such a good start against most decks. Yeah, we can take a look at I feel like I haven't heard from Dak in a while. We can take a look at this. 3 Cosmic Waves. Yeah, I don't know, like, doesn't just immediately seem so much worse than splashing blue for Riddler instead. I also like hate that, like, or hate is, you know, maybe not the word I want to use, but I'm not a fan of like taking the time out of your day to play to play Plunge into Darkness, a card that is bad. Like it does enable Ketravos too, but like if you're gonna play Plunge, you should probably have 4 Goyfs in your deck. Europe, the 7 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I just think in general, if you're gonna play like Ketravos Cosmic Goyf, it makes more sense to be in on like Emperor of Bones, Nether Goyf, but I guess not Nether Goyf with the Graveyard Hate, but like Bowmaster, like the lower to the ground, more like normal Thoughtseize cards. Just a first glance opinion. We are pretty dead, so I think we maybe 4-1 into 3-2 here. Europe with the 7 again. Thank you so much. Maybe I already said that. Thank you either way. I do have enough mana to go Karn Bridge if I draw the Karn. So I might want to Boseiju. Okay, I guess we double Boseiju. And then we can go Karn Bridge and have an empty hand, and then that could win some amount of the time. We've got it out. Raise your hands for the Spirit Bomb. Oh wait, hold on. I almost missed out on this value. Do we have a legendary creature in here? Because we just tapped 1 land to channel Boseiju. Look at that value, baby. Well, it's like we have a legendary creature in play. All right, so they loot away at Temple Garden. We get it for 7 down to 4. They hit a Flare of Cultivation, which is not a Karn, so thank you, Ragavan. Playing a Leyline? Blaze, maybe? Oh, they're playing the Flare. I don't think they have any basics. Okay, they have no basics left. Karn. All right, 3-2. If that was a Urborg instead of Yavimaya, we might have been able to cast the Emrakul there, actually. But it wasn't. All right, let's play one more. I'm having a lot of fun. This feels like one we should play one more of at least. I have a lot of options for the challenge on Friday too. We've got this deck. We have the Dredge Phoenix list, and we have VV Cauldron again.